welcome back. The Ombudsman has also found the Department of Health does not have basic information on certain healthcare providers that are not regulated by law. Jenny Lam reports.
The Ombudsman's office investigated a number of services that offer medically related services following a spate of problems with cosmetic treatments. Optometrists, clinical psychologists, nutritionists, speech therapists and a string of other services that offer healthcare treatments are not regulated by law. The government allows many of these care providers to form professional associations which are supposed to regulate the practice of their members. But the Ombudsman found that not only does the Department of Health not provide any help to these associations, officials often do not understand the nature of these organizations. In fact, some of the rules for these groups are so lax that members only need to express an interest in order to join. When things go wrong, the government is unable to make an accurate assessment of the problems.
We believe that even if the government decides that some of these healthcare professions need not be included in the regulatory framework, it does not mean that the department should not continue to obtain adequate information about the operation of these professional bodies.
People who work in beauty parlors, for example, can provide medical treatments without any medical qualification. The Ombudsman recommends a comprehensive review of the policies to see if these healthcare providers should come under regulations. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
The police and the hospital authority have come under fire from the Privacy Commissioner. In one particular case, a police officer lost 17 notebooks used to record names and identity card numbers of members of the public, and medical records of patients were improperly discarded by the hospital authority. Vicky Kung has more details.
Human errors and a faulty monitoring system are putting Hong Kong people's privacy at stake. The Privacy Commissioner cited in his latest reports 11 data breach incidents involving the police between October 2011 and January 2013. One of the most serious breaches involves an officer who lost 17 notebooks while going to work by bus. Police officers are supposed to keep only one notebook for them to write down information such as details of traffic offences and witnesses' statements. If a police officer wants a new notebook, he or she has to return the old one and the replacement must be approved by a supervisor. But it was found that some notebooks were given out without senior officers' endorsement, indicating a failure in the monitoring system.
The legal requirement does not require an absolute guarantee on protecting personal data. The requirement is to take reasonably practicable steps to prevent irregularities from happening. On this basis, we have therefore issued an enforcement notice requiring them to take measures to remedy the situation.
The Privacy Commissioner asked the police force to set up a more efficient mechanism to verify reasons for notebook retaining, dedicate workers to follow up on the return of unendorsed notebooks, and to carry out monthly inspections to make sure the rules are followed. If the police put in place all practical measures, the main ways to deter officers from accidentally leaking sensitive information are to enforce disciplinary actions and to have them stay alert. Meanwhile, the hospital authority also received an enforcement notice requesting it to monitor the disposal of patients' records. This comes after a passerby discovered appointment slips and damaged thermal ribbons with patients' details left on roadsides. Vicky Kung, TVB News.
A construction contracting firm is seeking $300 million extra payment from Chun Kan Holdings chairman Li Ka-shing for building a Buddhist retreat in Tai Po. Chun Wo Development Holdings said the design of the project was changed again and again. That has bumped up the cost considerably. Speaking during a hearing at the High Court today, Chun Kong's lawyer said the payment Chun Wo is seeking involves about 1,000 construction items, and Chun Kong needs time to go over them. The court allowed Chun Kong 1 week to come up with a defense argument. Chris, what do you have for us in sports today?
A little more from the Fall Classic. Yeah, the Boston Red Sox drew first blood in the World Series as they thrashed the St. Louis Cardinals in the opening game. Mike Napoli hit a 2-run double at the bottom of the first to help the Red Sox on their way. Boston continued to pile on the runs after that. A 2-run homer from David Ortiz made it 7-0 to the Red Sox in the 7th. Final score 8-1 Boston. Afterwards, Red Sox players talked about how they were determined to win the opening game in front of the home fans at Fenway Park.
Red Sox lead in game 1.
Very important, especially at home. You know, you want to make sure you hopefully get these wins. Going to St. Louis is going to be very tough, and you really have to bear down in these situations and try to get some play good baseball, and try to get some W's in front of the home crowd.
Football now, in Spanish giants Real Madrid scored a decisive win over Italian champs Juventus to take a big step toward the last 16 of the Champions League. Tony Sabine has a roundup of last night's action.
Two crucial goals from Cristiano Ronaldo was the deciding factor as Real Madrid beat Juventus 2-1 in Group B of the Champions League. Over in England, Manchester United shrugged off their disappointing draw against Southampton last weekend to earn 3 valuable points. An own goal after 2 minutes of play was enough to ensure a 1-0 win against Real Sociedad in Group A.
Well, it was 1-0, that can always, you can always lose it from a corner kick or a free kick. But it wouldn't have been right if we hadn't taken all 3 points in it. We played well enough and really should have scored other goals.
In Group D, United's local rivals Manchester City were 2-1 winners away to CSKA Moscow, but the match was marred by allegations of racist chants directed at City midfielder Yaya Toure.
I think it's a pity that continue with that stupid things, and I hope that they will have here the right message to finish all those things.
Meanwhile, City's group rivals and the defending champions Bayern Munich thrashed Victoria Pleasant 5-0. Tony Sabine, TVB News.
Britain's 3-month-old future monarch, Prince George, was officially christened yesterday. The momentous occasion brought together 4 generations of the royal family.
A moment of history was celebrated for the christening of Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. The occasion called for the presence of Britain's 87-year-old monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, and the 3 future kings, Prince Charles, Prince William, and the guest of honor, Prince George. The ceremony may have been intimate, but every detail of the christening held symbolic meaning, such as the future king's exquisite lace christening gown. It's a replica of the same christening outfit worn by Queen Victoria's eldest daughter in 1841. Even though it was well over a century old, Prince William was christened in the original gown in 1982. The venue for the ceremony was also carefully chosen. The Chapel Royal at St. James Palace was where Princess Diana's body lay in state the night before her funeral in 1997. Equally symbolic is the fact that water from the River of Jordan, where Christians believe Jesus Christ was baptized, was used to christen Prince George. Outside the 16th century chapel, crowds of royal watchers gathered to catch a glimpse of the 21 arriving guests. Over at Buckingham Palace, the masses enjoyed the usual pomp and ceremony. Folks say they're overjoyed that Prince William and his wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, are raising George on their own.
They are a family. They are living as a family. She's bringing up the child in a family unit, and I think that is wonderful.
One thing's for certain, this future king will be well taken care of. That's because William and Kate have selected a total of 7 godparents. A lucky number for one lucky prince who will now be loved 7 times more.
That is one royal wrap of our news. Thanks for watching.
Cute kid. Good night.
Good evening. It was fine and very dry today. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the northeast monsoon continues to bring very dry weather to southern China. Today's temperatures range from 21.3 to 27.9 degrees. and the relative humidity was between 29 to 51%. Winds were moderate north to northeasterlies. The current temperature is now 25.3 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 42%. The fire danger warning is red, so Freddie has the weather tomorrow. It will be cloudy overnight, mainly fine and very dry during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 21 and 27 degrees. It will be dry over the weekend. Cooler in the mornings with temperatures falling to 20 degrees or below in the urban areas. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 65 to 195, and the pollution level will range from high to very high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 7. And here's the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Sunny in Guangzhou and Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing and Seoul, showers in Tokyo. Showers in Bangkok and Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, showers in Jakarta. Bright in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi, showers in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Showers in Brisbane, sunny in Sydney, showers in Melbourne, rain in Auckland. Cloudy in Toronto, bright in New York. Sunny in Vancouver, bright in San Francisco, cloudy in Los Angeles. Showers in London and Paris, rain in Amsterdam, cloudy in Frankfurt and Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.